Hi. Today I wanted to talk about. That looks a little funky. Anywho's, today I wanted to talk about, like, the difference between an emotional high and an emotional low, and how inevitably, I can't get my words out. It all boils down to the same thing at the core. Neither one of these things on the scale is going to truly bring you back to a place of peace, which is what we're all seeking. We're all seeking internal peace. So, an example of an emotional low would be, say, you're more of a hermit, you don't like to do a lot of things, but you don't like to do a lot of things because you usually have a lot of fear or anxiety, about doing like social things. So, say your friends invited you out, you're trying to finally get out of your comfort zone. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna, have fun, but you're having a really bad feeling. And so your baseline feeling is always a bad feeling, and this nudges you to not want to go out. So in this case, you're really feeling into this bad feeling. You're attaching yourself to this bad feeling, and you're saying this bad feeling is a part of my identity. Therefore, I'm not going to let myself be free, get out of my comfort, and try to see what I really like to do outside of my fear. Because your fear, that is not really who you are. So just as once you would unattach yourself from that label of fear, like, who are you really outside of this like box, this perception of yourself and that fear? Like, who are you outside of that? An example of an emotional high would be, say, the same scenario, but you're so used to going out all the time that you don't know how to assert certain personal boundaries. You don't know when to spend that time with yourself because you're so used to tending to the needs of other people. So when it comes down to when you need to do things for yourself, by yourself, you always, feel like you're going to let somebody down. You always feel bad for doing things for yourself, but you should never feel bad for doing something for yourself, because you can never truly give to another person if you're not giving everything to yourself first, right? Because that will just lead to unnecessary resentment towards another and stuff like that we don't want within any of our relationships with any of the people we love. So just always make sure you're doing for yourself first, so you're not, holding resentment towards another. But yeah, an example of emotional high, not knowing not knowing how to say, hey, no, I need this time for myself. I need this time to do me, Basically, both of these things all kind of come down to this one point. Whether it's a low or a high, and you're going off the whim with either one of these emotions. But at the end of the day, are either one of these bringing you to a place of peace? Or when you make this decision, so you're feeding into the fear and you decide not to go out, you decide not to be more open and to really figure out what you like to do outside of this box of fear. On the other spectrum, you're so used to disrespecting your own boundaries, being codependent, and not knowing how to give this time to yourself, for a momentary high of the moment. But at the end of the day, when you're by yourself alone, you don't know how to have that fulfillment by yourself. You only know how to have that fulfillment with other people around you. They all kind of come back to the same thing. Like, is your decision really truly coming from a place of peace, or are you just following the waves of the highs and the lows, So when you're making a decision, make sure you're coming to a place of peace within yourself first. Like deep down, does it feel peaceful before you do this, before you do that? Don't just ride the waves of your emotions. Just make sure you're steadily flowing, you know? Just make sure you're centered, you're grounded, because when you just off on a whim, just make decisions, you know, off the spectrum, it just kind of leaves you like this, and you're not stable, you know? You want to find things that are going to just bring you to peace. So just make sure you're following that internal feeling of always being peaceful. Don't make decisions based off of this or off of that, you know? You want to keep yourself very just go with the motion. Just go with the motions. That's all I had to say today. I hope I reached anybody who needed to hear it. That is all.